Hi, welcome along to Arsenal Fan TV, and this is the aftermath. Well, welcome along to the show. What can I say? I had a lovely weekend at Brighton. Nice day out down at the seaside, and a great victory for Arsenal. And for all those people on Saturday that were sending me tweets and were saying, well, it's only Brighton. You know, why are Gooners getting excited? It's only Brighton. Ask them Liverpool fans yesterday. Ask the Queen's Park Rangers fans. Ask those fans of Norwich who got beaten by Luton. So many shocks this weekend. And I'll tell you what, when you play in these FA Cup games, if you're not up for it and you go to those smaller clubs, trust me, they're up for it. I mean, when I got down to Brighton on Saturday, I could tell, just by their fans, I could tell that they were up for it. It was their biggest game ever. Best attendance they'd ever had. And I mean, all around the ground, it was like a carnival atmosphere for their fans. And you could see with their players that they were really up for it. But thankfully, our guys were up for it too. We were very professional. And how good was Olivier Giroud in that game? I mean, they could just not cope with him. They could not cope with Olivier Giroud. And great performance by him. Deserved a hat-trick. And I think that was a very good victory for Arsenal down there away to Brighton. And as I said, if you look at some of the shocks that we saw this weekend with Liverpool losing to Oldham and with Luton beating Norwich, Premier League teams, it just shows you that, you know, we cannot take nothing for granted when you go and play these teams in the FA Cup. And I've also got to say, the atmosphere was absolutely magnificent. Of course, you know, in those FA Cup games, the away teams are able to bring a lot more fans than what they can bring in a Premier League game. And it just adds to the atmosphere. And I thought the atmosphere down there, the Gooners were second to none down there. Brilliant. Brighton fans as well, very vocal. And it was old school FA Cup. Just made for a brilliant day. And I really enjoyed it. And I'm just glad that we're through to the next round. Blackburn at home. Couldn't have asked for a better draw. Couldn't have asked for a better draw. Let's get into your tweets. Lots of tweets this weekend as usual. Thanks for everybody who tweeted us. I go first to Global Gooners, who said, we should keep Santos as a reserve. You may be in a minority there, mate. Keep him as a reserve left winger, he says, actually, not as a left back. And sign a goal scoring forward and either a commanding centre back and defensive midfielder. You know what, a thought came to me last night, right? I was thinking to myself, how good would Arsenal be if we could actually defend? If we were actually rock solid at the back? Because going forward, we are so good. It's just the defence that keeps letting us down. Anyway, Shakuri Wakchu says, beat Blackburn and we're 1 win away from a trip to Wembley. 2 wins away from another shot at a trophy. That's very true, but with Bradford, we had beaten them, we were only a couple of steps away as well. But I hear what you're saying. It's a very good opportunity with the draw that we've got against Blackburn to progress in the FA Cup. William Barker said, I think we need to get rid of zonal marking. I appreciate Szczesny should have done better, but with the man-to-man marking, we would be able to defend much better. Giroud is playing well, but we need to strengthen the midfield with Wanyama from Celtic. Good shout, Wanyama. And I'll tell you what, this zonal marking thing is a real worry because it seems that our players, they stand in a zone but they don't move. Nobody moves to the ball. I mean, that first goal, I mean, nobody jumped. And I thought Szczesny on that first goal, what was he doing? I mean, he should have came out and he should have punched that ball away, and anything that was in his way, he should have got punched out of the way as well. And I've got to really blame Szczesny for that first goal. And it does strengthen the arguments that we do need a backup to Szczesny. I think Szczesny is an excellent keeper, but we do possibly need a backup keeper to keep Szczesny on his toes. Greedy Wenger says, we are a few steps away from becoming a top-class team, and 2 signings could help us. Hoping to see David Villa and Diame. I'd love that as well, mate. I would love that, trust me. Kane says, Arsenal need an experienced striker, a centre-back and an extra decent midfielder. I need a player who we can bring off of the bench to make an impact. Just like we did on Saturday, we had 3 that came off and made an impact there. And I think Curtis Barton, Clueball 95, is on that point. He said, yesterday we showed why we need a strong bench. When Gibbs, Jack and Theo came on, we looked like a much better team. Definitely. Jack the Hoosen says, what I liked about yesterday was how when Arsenal conceded, we still kept going and didn't lose our heads. Bertie Carney said, Giroud played great and it was good for his confidence. No full stops there. Hopefully he can start scoring against the bigger clubs, starting with Liverpool. Sam Garrett said, great second half display. Giroud is a tank. Great return from Rosicky and a superb pass from Diaby for the goal. A close game, but we did it. Time for Santos to go. We need to sign up a left back and add to our 3 great summer signings. Niall Duffy said, good performance. I'm really starting to love Giroud. Never complains, just gets the job done. Patrick said, a bit dodgy, but I'll take it. Giroud was excellent. Think he's found his confidence now. We're only 3 wins away from Wembley. James Farley said, good result, but we need to be more consistent in our performance throughout the whole game. And we still need a defensive midfielder, but I think we can win the cup. Miguel Pinto says, Giroud seems to be adapting well to the team. Can't believe Santos is still at Arsenal. We clearly need new signings. Vard Lacasse, I hope I pronounced that right. He said, I think realistically we could buy Zhukovic and Diami. A lot of people mentioning Zhukovic at the moment. And he said, for the love of God, ship Andre Santos back to Brazil. He said, cheers all the way from Sweden. Boy Scooter says, the future's looking bright with our amazing British core. They play with such pride and passion, but we need to add 2 more players. Sidroff now said, we need a striker and a defensive midfielder, but I think Wenger won't buy anyone. And a lot of people they're mentioning Andre Santos. I want to be kind to Andre Santos and say that he hasn't played for a couple of months and that's why he was so bad. But I don't know if Andre Santos is ever going to be an Arsenal player. He just doesn't seem to have any defensive capabilities about him at all. I mean, the second goal, he just stood there and let the player cross it in. It's like he's just not aware of defensive responsibilities whatsoever. And, you know, I like the guy and I really want him to succeed, but I don't know. I'm sort of siding with some of these guys and thinking that maybe we need to get rid of him and bring in him. Because what happens if Gibbs gets injured? What happens if Gibbs is out, say, for the game against Liverpool and it's Andre Santos up against Sturridge and Suarez? I'm having nightmares about that already. I hope that doesn't come true. Oh dear. But, you know, I'm just happy that we've gone through, happy that it was some happy fans down there this week. And yeah, hopefully we can move onwards and upwards. We've got the game against Liverpool. If we can win that, yes, we've had a couple of defeats in January, but that will round the month off nicely. And if we can get a couple of good signings, we must. Arsene Wenger, if you're watching this, or board members, we need a couple of signings. It doesn't have to be a load of signings, but we need a defensive midfielder. I'd go Diami if that's the price is right. And we need a striker. Jukovic maybe. I'd still like to see David Villa come in. Somebody like that, but we need a striker. Giroud's been brilliant, but there's nothing in reserve. There's nobody else. So we need that. We need, if we're going to get that 4th place, we need that. And talking of transfers, don't forget we've got a hangout special this week where we're going to be talking about transfers. We've got a special channel that we set up for that. So if you want to get involved in that hangout, check out our Arsenal Fan TV live hangout channel. That is where we're going to be broadcasting that from live 10 o'clock GMT on Thursday between 10 and 11 when the transfer window closes. The rumours will be over then. We'll know who we've got in, if we've got anybody in. Also, don't forget all the videos, loads of live videos. We've filmed so much material recently, some excellent stuff down in Brighton at the weekend. Make sure you check out those videos. For everybody who's been getting on to me and asking me about the t-shirts, that's these Arsenal Fan TV t-shirts, the special bully edition t-shirt. People have been going crazy for those. Those t-shirts are now available. Again, the link's here, right here on YouTube. This is Arsenal Fan TV. Check it out. Thanks for tuning in.